Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Louise Houghton.
Hello and a warm welcome to you all, and thanks for joining us today. Before we get going, here's a quick look at what we have coming up in the next half an hour. Summer style. We look at what to wear to stay bang on trend. Mountain music. Katie Melua performs at the Zermatt Unplugged Festival. And great getaway. Saint Malo in France has a lot to offer visitors. So, what do you think about my dress today? The pattern and broad mix of colours makes it very on trend this coming season, even if I do say so myself. But that is one of the themes that we're seeing pop up in stores around Europe. I'm going to let someone more experienced fill you in on the rest of the spring-summer must-haves, though. So here is fashion blogger Kerstin Gurling to tell you more.
Anyone looking to spruce up their summer wardrobe right now is in for a surprise. Usually there's one new hot trend, but this summer, just about anything goes. Kerstin Gurling's boutique Hayashi is right in Frankfurt's bustling financial district. For years now, it's drawn fashion mavens from all over Germany. Some customers even come to regular get-togethers where they talk about the latest trends. As fashion becomes more and more international, rules are now being made to be broken.
A lot has changed. With all the blogs and the internet, everyone is now much more knowledgeable. And the products are changing too. Nowadays you'll see people wearing a pink coat in the winter, for example. Back then no one wore bright colours in the winter. But now they mix things up and anything goes.
Twice a year, Gurling visits the shows in Paris, Milan, New York, and London to scope out the latest looks. And there's always something new, or a new twist on the old, waiting to be discovered.
This summer we'll be seeing some special trends, like the Hawaiian look. Here you see these palm trees and Hawaiian flowers. You can combine them with stripes, like on this dress. Or for a really eye-catching look, you might see leopard spots paired with camouflage. These wild combinations wouldn't have been allowed just a short time ago. People would have thought you were crazy. But now you can pair anything with anything, as long as the colours work. Like here, where the colours are similar.
And here's another brightly coloured pairing.
You'll also see a lot of shorts this summer, especially when they're wide and flowing. You can combine them with boxy sweatshirts and bomber jackets. What's also hot is this Yves Klein blue. It's a really bright blue, which you can pair with other shades of blue or with pink, as long as it grabs you.
Another trend this upcoming season, flat shoes. From flashy brogues to tennis shoes, this summer's watchword is comfort. And some are taking the trends to the limits, like French label Chloé, sporting flip-flops.
The highlight of the summer are flip-flops and sensible shoes, which people have always turned their noses up at. Now they're fine again, but they've been prettied up with little studs and bows. And here you see some that are all glittery. It's like a pimped-up orthopedic sandal.
Another mainstay has also been given a deluxe makeover, the backpack. The designer online shop Net-a-Porter has devoted an entire page to them. But at these fancy prices, they're not a short-lived fad. They're an investment.
You should never ask a man's opinion if you want to wear a backpack or a clunky flip-flop. They'll probably say, no way. But if you wear it with self-confidence and a dash of irony, then even men will like it.
So this summer, if you like it, wear it. The free and easy feel is certainly appealing. Just add a jaunty pair of sunglasses and you're ready for anything.
Now, Katie Melua is a name that is familiar to most of us. As a teenager in 2003, she shot to fame with her debut album and has now released 6 consecutive UK top 10 studio albums. In contrast to her mellow music, Katie is a bit of an adrenaline junkie and loves extreme sports. She combined her 2 passions of sports and playing acoustically at the Unplugged Festival that took place this last week in the Swiss resort of Zermatt.
There's music in the air around the Matterhorn, the mountain that towers over the Swiss village of Zermatt. Stars such as the Georgian-British singer Katie Melua are performing at the winter sport resort.
It feels so amazing to be here. It's such an incredible venue and location to do a gig at. You know, this is basically, everyone's on holiday, and so we feel like we're on holiday, me and my band.
The unique thing about this festival is that the musicians only use acoustic instruments.
Not to listen to the crowd of the lawn.
For me, as the performer, it's about peeling off the layers of production that tend to build up over time. Well, first of all, they build up in the studio. You know, you often go in the studio with a song that is unplugged. You know, it's just a voice and a guitar, well, I do anyway. And then in the studio, it kind of, you know, you add and add and add. So with doing an unplugged gig, it's about taking those layers off and getting to the heart of the song.
The musicians perform all around the Zermatt region, and not just international stars, but unknown artists as well.
It's not an artificial event. It's really well suited for this location. It suits the physical landscape of the village and the surrounding area.
A piano was transported by helicopter to the Gandeghütte, a venue located 3,000 meters up the mountain. And Ronnie Scott's All-Stars Band from London broke a new record for playing the highest altitude gig ever.
I think the trip with the helicopter has done the piano a world of good. The only problem is every now and again it sort of slips into climb every mountain. I think this is the only piano that's actually been around the Matterhorn.
Playing music in the thin alpine air is an unusual challenge.
You ain't no good, but baby, they don't know that I'd leave you if I could.
I'm quite a good breather. I've learnt, you know, how to breathe properly, but I can notice if you just need to take a few more, shorter. Yeah, it's challenging. You can't. My notes are not as long as they would be ordinarily.
Heaven, I'm in heaven. And my heart beats so that I can hardly.
And the skiers who stop for a break enjoy the change of pace.
When we're out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
The combination of the music and the scenery is just breathtaking.
You can go skiing anywhere, but to have music up the mountains and to have the quality of music that is assembled.
Incredible. Nobody would believe this. It's unique.
Powder snow by day, music by night. Katie Melua woos the audience with her dulcet tones.
Following the smoke of your glowing fire.
You know, I'm competing with snow, you know, and mountains and some exquisite views. But I guess people are probably quite tired from skiing. So yeah, we can kind of chill them out even more. For me, when I'm on stage, you know, and if I feel a sense of sort of inspiration and really in touch with the music, I hope that the audience will also almost feel like they're singing the songs with me. I hope people get from them what I did, which is just some kind of escape and some kind of embrace.
Zermatt Unplugged truly is a unique experience for musicians and visitors alike.
Chase me or I'll slip away. If I'm
such a beautiful sound. But moving on now, the coastal town of Saint Malo can be found in Brittany, northwest France. It's famous for seeing some of the highest tides in Europe. In fact, the entire stretch of the surrounding coastline is named as the most visited place in the entire country. This is largely due to the nearby Mont Saint-Michel, but there are also many other attractions in the city away from the waves on the beach. Euromaxx went along to explore these in a bit more detail.
Rolling, crashing waves and foaming spray are Fabrice Réel's idea of a good time. Every morning, the Frenchman comes down to the shore hoping for that perfect run.
For me, surfing is an interesting physical way to chill out. But there's also a philosophy behind it. You have to find the best wave. Then once you've found it, you stop thinking, because all that matters then is the movement.
Fabrice has been riding waves near the Breton town of Saint Malo for more than 20 years. He now even works as a surfing instructor. Life there holds a particular appeal for him.
Saint Malo is the town of Barbary pirates, like Robert Surcouf. Everyone around here knows him. Saint Malo has a long maritime history.
A particular tourist magnet is the historic center with the fortress wall, which still protects Saint Malo from stormy seas. A short distance from the heart of town is the harbor, where Pierre Ravelin works. The fisherman specializes in catching blue lobster, which are among the most expensive seafood delicacies in the world.
Lobster fishing is my passion. Because I just like it.
It's tough work, and fishermen have to set off early. Blue lobster, which has a more intensive flavor than other varieties, are generally only found in a few places far off the coastline. But getting back into the harbor with a full catch takes some practice.
You put big fish in here and leave them. These traps are the ones we're legally authorized to use. We leave them in the sea for 2 days, then lured by the fish, the lobster crawl in here and are caught.
A couple of kilometers further eastwards, near the little town of Cancale, is traditional oyster territory. At the Franck Valerie farm, they're cultivated for 3 years. To acquire their special flavor, they're stored on iron tables in the middle of the sea.
Our oysters are full of iodine, which is because we're on the English Channel. But the strong tides also mean the oysters are exposed to the sun for a long time. And that gives them a sweet, savory taste.
On the far side of the bay is the island commune of Mont Saint-Michel. Until 1960, it was home to Benedictine monks and is now the best-known pilgrimage site in France. Even in the colder months of the year, the stunning architecture on the 55,000 square meter island attracts tourists from all over the world. The best views of the towering monastery are reserved for local farmer Yannick Franz's salt meadow sheep.
What's special about my salt meadow sheep is that they predominantly eat what grows at the edge of the sea. Once a month on this strip of coast, stretching 7 kilometers long between Cancale and Mont Saint-Michel, the sea floods the meadows, and that gives the lamb its delicate flavor with no fatty taste.
Just a few kilometers from Mont Saint-Michel is Guillaume Tirel's restaurant. His Michelin-starred Côté Mer is one of the best in the region and specializes in typical Breton dishes. Today he's serving oysters on a bed of seaweed and lobster with frothed cream sauce.
What's the typical taste of Brittany? The sea. Just the sea and everything it produces.
And there's no denying the profound relationship between Saint Malo and the sea that laps at its door.
Now, this year's Furniture Fair in Milan, Italy, boasted a host of new ideas. It's known as the Fashion Week for Furniture, showcasing the latest in home design. Over this past week, buyers from all over the world have been on the lookout for the new products that will become the design icons of tomorrow. In reality, we will only discover what these are with time. So we explored the pavilions with our design expert, and here is what caught our eye.
The Milan Furniture Fair is the setting for some of the most colorful and extravagant designs in the world. For decades, the Salon de Mobile has been the most important event of the year for the furniture industry. This year, British designer Tom Dixon is on hand. The former musician is presenting his new line of design called Club. Some of his creations have already been described as classics.
I've never thought of designing classics. I've always done things that interest me. So it's been very difficult to get to this stage, but now I've finally got an infrastructure which allows me to design whatever I fancy. So if some of them become classics, then that'll be very nice, but that's not the objective.
Matteo Cris defines a classic design as innovative materials, timeless concepts, and new technologies, among other things. The expert visits countless shows. Classic designs can come from moments of inspiration, too, like this shelf by the designer team Barber and Oscarby.
Obviously, objects that refer back to classic designs can become classics in their own right, because they take up something that's timeless and well-known. That's the case with this Barber and Oscarby shelf. You can see references to a shelf by Charlotte Perriand from the post-war era.
Furniture makers also rely on classics because they sell well. Tonet is selling Mark Stamm's S43 chair in new colors. The Italian manufacturer Cassina is doing a new rendition of the model LC5 by Le Corbusier. The famous designer and architect created this couch for his Paris apartment in the 1930s. Now it's available with springs as a 2- or 3-seater.
You could say the Le Corbusier pieces are already classics. Those designs have all been proven winners in the marketplace for decades, and I think this will be the case with the new sofa too.
Even outside the exhibition halls in downtown Milan, there's plenty of new things to discover, especially works by young designers. One of them is 36-year-old Martin Baas of the Netherlands. He's called the enfant terrible of the furniture world. His work doesn't fit into any conventional pattern. It's not meant to. His creations are meant to be an alternative to the razzmatazz surrounding the Milan Furniture Fair.
So I don't really like defining things. And for me, design is not so much about industrial design, making one chair, technical or whatever. No, it's for me a wide open space in which all kinds of creativity can come together.
Back at the Furniture Fair, there are only about a dozen designers whose work is easily recognizable. Among them are Zaha Hadid and Konstantin Grgic. They're presenting their chair Rival at the fair. It's already a museum piece as well.
This curved part just pulls you right in. You could just stay here, sitting, and let go of your stress. Again and again, Konstantin Gricic manages to design objects that look completely new in their very own way.
Perhaps a few of the new designs at this year's furniture show will truly become the design classics of tomorrow.
It's a pageant with a difference, looking to find the woman who can best represent African culture in a German context. 180 African women and women with African roots took part in the contest this year. After several preliminary rounds, 20 of them made it into the final, which then challenged their skills in many different ways and demonstrated that they have to be more than just a pretty face to win.
Dancing is just one part of Germany's Face of Africa competition. Participants in the final come from 12 African countries, including Kenya, Zimbabwe, and Namibia, and they each have to present a traditional dance from their home country. "20 young women are taking part in the final in Berlin.
I'm here to win.
Yes, I'm a little nervous.
It's been a wonderful experience, and actually I'm happy. I'm not nervous. No matter what the results, I'm happy.
I want to win.
The contestants have to show off their various talents. The winner will have to be more than just a model. Participants have been preparing for the contest for months. Their last rehearsal is a day before the final. Harriet Ampofo is a business law student who lives with her Ghanaian parents in Saarbrücken. She's been working hard from the outset.
My father is really going for this, so I train every day. He should be the one taking part. Every day he asks me to perform and speak, which means I practice all the time.
Ernest O'Look is the founder of the contest. Originally from Ghana, the 28-year-old is a successful model and coach and has already trained many young women for the catwalk.
We want to see a time where I can walk on the street and see a magazine here in Germany being graced by a black skin, because you hardly find any magazine that is having a cover from a black person. You don't see it. You go to Rossmann or you go to any shop in Germany, you don't find any product that is of black people or people with color.
Back to the grand finale. The winner will go on to model the fashions of African designers and speak publicly on African issues. The jury's made up of fashion industry figures and trend scouts. They will decide who becomes an ambassador for Africa.
It's all about talent. It's not about walking the catwalk like a model, but about the whole posture. Self-confidence, how they sell themselves, how they represent their country of origin and Africa overall. Particularly Africa and Germany.
One of the toughest challenges of the contest is public speaking in front of a large audience. But for many participants, that's the reason for wanting to take part in the first place.
Because it's not a typical beauty contest, there's a cultural motivation too. We don't only do it to look good, but to put a message across.
Face of Africa, I will get to use my voice to help other people. And what's more wonderful, like doing what you love by helping others.
Now it's time for the last round. Once again, the women show their most radiant sides. Then, the moment of truth. The jury members add up the points. Harriet Ampofo is definitely not going to win.
I'm not disappointed because I know I did my best. I'm all right with that. You can't always win. Maybe it's not my time. You can't always win everything at once.
Face of Africa, Germany, Season 1 is Julie from Ghana!
As Germany's Face of Africa, Julie Asamoah of Ghana will have a modeling contract for a year and a half.
It's always like issue come up and then after time it all goes down again. So we just try to make more better models that they won't stop demanding, and then they will start looking into that direction and getting more and more of us into the industry.
Next up for Julia Samoa is a photo shoot that'll last a few days, and then she's off to South Africa, where she's already got a full agenda.
And I'm sure she'll be back here in Berlin for the Carnival of Cultures in June. We have a lot to report on before then, though, so hopefully you can join us again soon. Bye-bye for now.